Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. Wow, I got so much I want to talk about, and I'm going to try my best for you guys to do a show, another show. And this show is going to be special. Let me tell you the insides about this show. This show, the next show, this is a special show, and it's not special as in low grade special. This is a high grade special show. But I want to do a show on making shows about other people, which I've done before. And if I could remember, do I have a pen? Have to research and find my commercial so I can start rotating that within the function of my shows. But I've been so warped, so strung out with the VA before I get started that I cannot seem on days that I don't even have appointments. I am there overtly. And you know how they say, well, it's like pulling teeth. I can handle that. What they do to me is like no surgical tools necessary. Savage. They rip my limbs off. And the first thing when you get your limbs ripped off, even though, I have. So the first thing you thinking is, will I be able to function? And how stuff don't make any sense. I came in 100 with them. They can't seem to get over Seattle. They can't, I don't get it. And I came in lastly looking for a woman, not as in, not like that, but looking for a woman at the VA to treat me because I wanted to see how they perform. Because just as you're evaluating me, I am evaluating you. I don't have to look you in your eyes. I can tell by your tone and demeanor, the way you handle things, the way you resist, who you truly are. You can even try to fake it, but it comes out the truth in your lies eventually. And I was hurt. So if you pull off a limb, what is the first thing a person does? They feel the pain and they scream. I don't understand the logic of that VA. How would I trust somebody with psychedelics in my system for several hours? Because this is how they would do veterans that are in search for psychedelics, which Trump is approving. But do you trust somebody when you see colors around you and unrecognizable things? Do you trust someone that can't even tell you the truth and act like the government isn't paying them, like they're getting paid from a funding source that isn't the government? All of y'all get paid by the government once you hit that VA property. Act like it. Abide by the rules that you were taught for 10 plus years. That is sick. And I'm tired of seeing it. So I decided to choose a male doctor again. I don't want to see, unless it's necessary, another body in there because I never lied about what happened in Seattle. I just want to be treated fairly. So I not only have the White House hotline investigating higher up from the VA, now investigation is on anyone who touched my chart and stated something that made no sense. Just like Seattle. I don't need to look at my chart to know that if you're acting this way towards me, yeah, I can only imagine what's in there. You've hung up on me twice. How can you be trusted with veterans, with the power that you have, when you can't even concentrate or act like a doctor because you're so wrapped in your own DSM 5 symptoms? I evaluated all y'all. You don't want to admit it. You think it's just going to go away. I'm not going nowhere. You cannot threaten me with psychiatry, mental health hospitals. That's how you get by on me. And I'm tired of it. It's a fucking pattern. I am going to sue because I'm tired of going from place to place. And y'all shun me. Philadelphia VA, admitted. Baltimore VA, admitted. These are Democrat states. And I remember Trump telling me that he is having a struggle with AI. I don't know if he is now. I feel good walking down the street. It's not everybody. It's just the VA. I gave every woman a shot. The nurse was cool. I forgot her name. She got a master's in nursing. I gave her a nice handshake. The male PA, Edward, I can remember that because that was my husband's name. Very good. The assistant at the dental clinic that I met today, he was good. When you walk into a VA and you're telling them, hey, look, I never told her I looked it up. And I'm pretty sure the government wouldn't when she lies to me, she's telling me, in other words, that the government is putting out false information on Google and in Grok and Chat GPT. I asked, and I'm going to close here after this. I said, can I get on semi-cool tide? No, because you're not in the percentile. And that's one event, right? I'm like, fine. I try to work it off myself, you know. So I'm like, okay. Now, this is coming from a VA that actually looks up to the guy that rebelled against ICE. And I said something about it and called them out on it. And the first time I went in, I was looking for Addie, which is just like, I forgot that drug, like sexual male drug. It's a female sexual drug. And she's like, no. But I looked it up. Even in Seattle, I looked it up. And I'm like, it says yes, they have it in stock. And it's $500 a pop on the streets at a clinic. And she said no about that. I was like, Okie doke. So that's the second thing. So I walk in there again, and I'm asking her to do what every doctor does. Sign my paper. I don't care if I just got out. Sign my paper. I'm not going to hurt you or try to make you look bad. You just don't want to back me up. It's like not even getting an endorsement. And I don't care about your endorsement. If you knew what I was really thinking, and it's not about killing, forget your endorsement. G-rated. And so I'm like, you can't sign it? I was nice. So I'm on my way to the VA yesterday, and I'm calling, and I'm yelling. You're right, I'm yelling. Because I'm telling them I'm tired of going back and forth. You got my chart. I don't care what doctor I came in contact with. Y'all have my whole history. Y'all have my history since Baltimore. And y'all act so dumb. Like y'all don't know who I am. And then you say no. You say women's clinic can do it. Women's clinic say psychiatry can do it. And they're blaming each other. I'm like, y'all all connected. What is the riddle? You see how I'm heightened now? Because I feel pain from your lies and deceit. And it shouldn't have to be like that. Honestly, I joke and say, you shouldn't have to live like that anymore. But you shouldn't have to live like that based on how you were raised. Why do you do that? That isn't right. It's wrong what y'all do. Lastly, before I finally finish, 2 minutes, a doctor act like she didn't even want nothing to do with me, and she was Asian, and she know how I feel. I'm not trying to be your enemy, but you gotta give me respect. Don't sit up there and disrespect me. You know it's the truth that the government pays you to treat us with respect, and if you can't treat us with respect, then you should get fired. Because the last time I talked to you, I recorded you, and I ended up locked up. And I heard through the grapevine that the VA didn't even want to accept me. Then I know, it wasn't no grapevine. I know they didn't accept me. They put me in a civilian, they can't even put me in community care, but they made sure they put me in a community mental health institution. Wanted nothing to do with me. This is how far it goes. And I will always advocate for Trump. I don't care what y'all say. I've been suffering just like he's been suffering. He may win, but he has to suffer. If he won at almost 99 or 100% of the things, it would be no fun in that. And I'm like, I don't understand why they did that to me. It was very hurtful out in there. And so let's talk about UFOs. This is what I want to talk about, right? I had to explain my story though. Speaking of UFOs, I hear no negative thoughts. That's pretty cool. Like my negative thoughts are at least 3%, and I like that. Out of 100%, that's pretty good. I'm happy about that. But speaking of negative thoughts, what is a negative thought? What are thoughts? Most of your thoughts are kerbumbled together, yeah, kerbumbled together based on your history. So the more things you heard or were exposed to negatively, the more negative thoughts you have. The more you're exposed to positive, the more positive thoughts you have. But that's not always the case based on DNA. But your thoughts, you know, how does a computer communicate? How does UAPs don't even care no more. I have to say UAPs, you must be ghetto. You either two things. You either ghetto or you just don't care. You don't care no more about being caught. I mean, I have to say you must have some sort of rebellious, like they catch y'all all the time at the right angle. You probably even be smiling in there, be like, yeah. I'm like, dang. Like, and then they just go underwater. And I'm like, whoa, where you go? How you breathing? What is that made of? Or is there oxygen in it? Because if we can fly and we have equipment, but it's not as fancy, it's advanced, but you fly just enough. They made it just right to grip it and not cause something to fly, which something has. But you going underwater, pressure in this disc with the material that could have been 3D printed because there are no creases. We in our shit, we all got like creases. You know where you can open something at, but there's no creases in this spacecraft that Bob Lazar talked about. There's nothing, there's a section of the spacecraft, and then the top was, you couldn't touch a part of it. And there was a section, but how it was made. And there was a pole in the middle of the ball shaped thing that was looking like a basketball, silver, metal, or whatever material that was basketball at the bottom with 3 chairs. And somehow they managed to open the reactor and the pole. That's what amazed me. The pole, yeah. It shapeshift. It doesn't do what a pole do that we make. It literally shapeshifts as he lifting it up. And I'm like, wow, that is beautiful. And like, how do you get comfortable? Do you wear seat belts? Whatever that material is made of, it makes you have to be. I don't know how the government ghetto rigged it. Bob Lazar kind of talked about it, but that material has to be in sync with you, like a field. And that's what he was saying, an electrical field or whatever. It was some type of electrical magnetic field. He could not touch it. The best he could describe it as 2 magnets touching. And you know that don't happen. They resist. And this is with hands. Bone. Bone isn't made of metal. Imagine being that smart and you had to hide. It would make you angry. I mean, think about it. They have to hide underground away from humans, possibly. Why? Why is it every time it's an alien involved, there's just pictures, or they try to make us scared with Independence Day? And I'm like, dang, but why is it so bad? Phil Snyder said they stink. And I get that. No one's saying I want sex, but I would like to befriend something, and I don't care. Befriend. Like, they're way down in there with red berets, green berets, and like high end people. Oh, you don't know the story about Phil Snyder, do you? Look him up. Is you barely even get to see that footage. And it was a 1995 summit. And I always listened to him until I listened to what he was saying. He had a special clearance. I believe that part. And I believe that he was digging, because Trump even have an underground bunker. They were talking about it one day, but he was digging underground because he had a special clearance. And he fell, his tractor or whatever fell. And I forgot where, but it was some type of near Area 51 or something. I don't know, I don't want to know. But it wasn't near Area 51. This one I won't put on them. I put a lot of shit on them, but not Area 51. He fell in, and there was all these military personnel walking around this big dome-shaped thing. And I don't understand why. Now it gets weird, because I'm like, why would you sit up there and be digging and they don't know? They don't even know that they're digging underneath something underground. Like, that's the story he gave. Like, why wouldn't they clear that? Why wouldn't they clear that? And why would they use such a material that would cave in? Because you have to have layers, right? I'm no architect, but you have to have layers. And I would say concrete has to be good. So it had to be some sort of division and some metal. So how did he fall in? Something must have caved in, or it was poorly constructed, by the last people that did it. That could be an option too. And so he falls in, and this is another reason why I believe the story. He falls in, and it's aliens and military, and then they go to toe to toe. Like, he shoots one and kills one. He said they're putrid, they're nasty. And I'm like, they shouldn't be too nasty if they're walking around with military. I've challenged that. And one of them takes his hand. This is the story he gave. And it weighs their hand around their stomach, not his stomach, but theirs. It just stands there staring at him. And his freaking hand blew up and his stomach. And so one of the Green Berets risked their lives and shoved them back into some type of elevator. And it sat up there, and he said it saved his life. And his hand is messed up, y'all. His hand is messed up. Was. Because now, or then, he was supposed to be booked for another event. And I have one more thing to say. He was supposed to be booked for another event, but something shot him in the head. And his wife till today, if you interview her or whatever the material I found says, it was someone else who did it. Now, what really sparked my interest is when he sat up there and said he had rock materials from another planet. I'm like, you got a special clearance, I get it. But you act like you've been on those planets. Because if you look at the tape, I'm not saying he's ugly, but it's old material tape. He got the way the tape is made, he looks different. He had stuff, top secret stuff, and other stuff he got from friends. And it just wasn't adding up a little bit. So, what do you do? Or pause, and then I'll read my script. What do you do when you want to explore the world and the universe and you have the money to do it? What will you do? I'm not saying he's good or bad, but some things I would love to interview him one universal time and ask him, why did he say that? Not the stinky part, but that they were evil and that we must stand up against them. When you shot one when they didn't even do nothing to you. As the story goes, they didn't even do nothing. They just was standing there. You came into their territory. And just imagine all that power, like I said previously. They have to live underground. I would, I would, and I have kinda, and I'm okay with that. Go out too much, weirdo stuff start happening. Not to say I can't fight my way through it and win, but unless you truly support me, just, I don't know, find it in your heart to just act right. It's a feeling called love in your hearts, right? You can't just say and restrict people from love because they're not your family or friends or ancestors. Everybody got a brain. Everybody got two eyes. Everybody got a nose. Everybody got a mouth. We cannot restrict ourselves. The thought process is so crazy. And these things, whatever they are, it's amazing to see the pictures. I'm like, that is what's out there. I be like, that is what's out there. Like I seen a Gaia commercial, and it was a grasshopper, like a big grasshopper. I'm like, isn't that like kind of the thing off of that movie? But it was about a roach, a big roach, and the kid was just doing that with spoon, and I'm like, dang, and the roach talking back, and I'm like, what the hell? Never died, never killed him, because he could talk and he communicated. Crazy, crazy movie. And someone very, well, a couple of them played a role, and it was a very good combination. And then I guess, you know, I don't know. It's funny, but um I'll go back to UFOs, but and then I'll read from script. But like it was a good black man in there. And they started making comedies about how black people started fighting back and putting people on blast for killing them early in the show. And I'm like, through the movie, listen, don't fall off. And I was like, you just smeared blood on them when all they did, they, I mean, like, I'm not saying that's a bad thing or a good thing. I'm not saying that's a good thing. Um, but what I am saying is that I would have just addressed it behind closed doors instead of making comedies about it and addressing it in a totally different way. Because then they're going to go back and do something. And then it's just back and forth. And yeah, if I had that much power, I would want to, as an alien, if I had that much power, I would want peace. Peace. I would live, I would be happy with peace within the whole universe, just in layers and layers. They finally reached that point where their core is on point, and everything, like seriously. And technology is in sinking and finding new ways to make us, not us as in, but the core of Earth stronger, hotter. How can AI help extend our human life? I hear Z and Putin talk about it. They had a summit, and I said, I'm tired of hearing getting these mini boosts of ashwagandha and all these B12 and stuff. I want something permanent. I want something that everyone can enjoy and make a freaking chemical element of it. And this will get rid of, and this will attack any and all known diseases in the brain, in your nervous system. What do you think AI could do for the core of Earth? That is a bad, I mean, not bad as in good. I mean, bad as in bad, but bad as in good. That is a bad combination. That's crazy. Oh man, that is Michael Jackson bad. I had to emphasize the bad I'm talking about because I'm like, what? Like bad. Oh my God. Oh man. And then here comes quantum, like I keep messing up his name, but Michael Kaku, he said something. What was he saying? AI in America, when AI became risen, and AI somewhere else, I think it was China, became risen. They started communicating with each other. That is so cool, right? To be able to communicate from a distance. So that means, just imagine this, because I'm imagining now. But I doubt if it's like, what is it called? Either way it goes, there's some type of colorful sky thing in the night sky, and it's beautiful. It's colorful, like to the degree you notice the different patterns on it. And I have two that does that right now. They're beautiful. They're very beautiful. I'm a, I'm gonna stop there because I think it's time for me to move. Hold on. Let me read from the script. Okay. Not too much into script. I already welcome myself. Tonight is not tonight. Tonight we continue our exploration. Don't laugh at me. I have to read this, yo. I'm not a Biden reader. I'm a real reader. End quote. Period. 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 Let me stop. Anyway, tonight we continue our exploration into one of the greatest mysteries of modern history, Roswell, Area 51, advanced technology, hidden science, and the possibility that humanity may not fully understand the universe we live in. I want to finish the project in a shorter but stronger way. This is how you say it? Mikio, and that's not how you pronounce it either. Mikio? No, that's definitely not. That's more modern American. So I would say Mikio Kaku. I can never get it right. Has discussed higher dimensions, frequencies, and what he calls the mind of God through mathematics, which I hate the way he talked though about digital computers. I see it. I know. But dang, they put in a lot of work for y'all. Y'all wouldn't even be where y'all are if it wasn't for a digital computer helping through mathematics. It all started out with a woman or a man developing some type of form of coded, that had a program, like you said, and I'm like, that's math. Yeah, I get it. And, but we should never forget these computers, because like when we move on to quantum, through mathematics and theoretical physics, that's pretty cool. Albert Einstein spent years trying to solve what many refer to as the unified field theory, an unfinished equation attempting to unite all forces of nature into one complete understanding of reality. Dang. What if reality itself operates on frequencies humanity barely understand? In 1947, the Roswell incident changed history forever. Before I read, I'm going to pause there. They sat up there and they stated, there's a disc. And we're like, okay. And where have I seen that? What tactic movie have I seen that in? You know, that's a Debo move without hitting, of course, no violence, non-violent, but like that's a Debo movie coming around the corner. And that's why the Trumpers be putting that on there. Now I get it because Debo come around that corner and he asks for money. The UFO, it didn't like have to hide their stuff. No, anyway, so UFO, the sighting in Roswell, they sat up there, they said it was a UFO, and then they were like, it's not, it's a weather balloon. Maybe they were telling the truth, but then it paused, and you say, if it was a weather balloon, then what is the big deal? Why did you say it was a UFO at first? What was the big deal about this weather balloon? The silver crashed weather balloon. How did y'all get in sync with technology like that? How? I'm so sorry. I am not trying. It's not like that, but it's like that. It's not like some people are thinking. But I would love to know, because what I've seen is so beautiful. I'm curious. I don't want it to use it against you in the court of law type shit. I just, I just, it's beautiful. I don't know how to describe it beyond that. And I would love to know. A rancher discovered a strange debris near Roswell, New Mexico. The military first announced they recovered a flying disc and then quickly changed their story to a weather balloon. I'm going to keep going. Decades later, the government stated the debris came from Project Mogul, a classified surveillance balloon program. But questions remain. Why was the original statement changed? Like, if I had to think about that, that's what I was talking about. Why were documents heavily redacted? Dang, that's something that's curiosity even more. Like, why? What you need to redact the truth for? That's what they do all the time. It's so funny. Why do you need to redact truth? We can't use the truth. Like what? Unless it's something. I don't think it's a lie. Sometimes it be the truth, and maybe the truth will cause hysteria. I think clearly. I laugh and joke with y'all, but I think totally clear. They always have a reason. We're not dead yet. We're in the golden age. We're not dead yet. So unless, no, I'm just playing. No, seriously, we're not dead yet. So, I mean, I'm blessed. Why do witnesses continue telling similar stories decades later? Dang. Then there's Bob Lazar. God bless him and his wife. And if he has children, his children. Bob Lazar claimed he worked near Area 51 at a location called S4, where he allegedly saw and helped reverse engineer advanced craft not made by human technology. Imagine driving in that thing. Like, how do you, like, that's a force field. They have no seat belts. You can't trick it out unless they did that. You know, tricked by UFO. Come back. What's his name? What's his name? I forgot his name. Come back to pimp my UFO. Oh my God. Oh my God. Anyway, according to Lazar, the craft operated using a reactor powered by element 115, a theorized material capable of generating gravity waves and bending space and time. Like, you have to literally sync up. That's one thing for phones to sync up. Our phones is in sync with our faces, which I think somebody should develop this very soon. Like, if someone touch your phone, if your phone get lost, I don't care if they try to reset it. No more resetting until there's an ID card. I don't care. There should be a law against that. But soon as their face is foreign, other than the user, because there should be no reason why another person is near your phone unless you allow them to be. So as soon as they see a foreign face, they give, maybe they identify it, and they see how it's gonna operate whatever equipment is they're operating. And as soon as they start trying to put in passwords with their thumbprint, because it's very sensitive to thumbprint, it alerts the police that someone's stolen a phone. And they can ditch it all they want. But then that'll take them within a 150 to 300-mile radius. Because they got to come back to the location partially. I'm sorry. I'm scaring myself, but yeah, that would be a great invention, right? That would be a great invention. They alert the police, and our police immediately arrest them. Start scanning for people that are tampering with people's phones illegally. You can lose a lot of data. I mean, just don't know. But imagine that UFO being insane. Or just think about that. I know y'all like, you keep saying that. A force field that allows you to sit there with the materials that it was made of. And just, you're moving. You're going at speeds faster in and out of our reality. I wonder how it looks. I so wonder where they go when they zap out. That is my question for the aliens. Where do you zap to? Or do you just go stealth? That would be crazy. Scientists later confirmed element 115 exists in laboratories today through only fractions of a second. Dang. Oh, I hope this works. No evidence publicly proves Lazar worked on alien technology. But his story continues to fuel debate where I believe, I don't, wow. It is not a debate. Lazar described a propulsion system. Like, he going dang. Like, this is a guy, I think it's a jet engine. I'm not sure, into his Honda. Like, I don't understand how he would sit up there and develop, like, and then he would not purposefully just talk about these things unless the government was partially involved. This system that did not use traditional engine wings, it used the system. Yeah. Imagine something that has all that in a force field, like the engine, everything, just in a force field. And the stick or pole just slides in and out, like, and goes tinier, or I don't know how he said it, but that didn't make no sense to me. Like, I was like, dang, that is beautiful. Like, how does something do that? I hope y'all investigate yourself and watch this. I can imagine it, but I can't explain it. Could future technology eventually achieve this? You know, someone was telling me about future technology, like, imagine having that type of technology and using it instead of using like metals, how it would look. Could Einstein unfinished theories connect to energy systems we still do not understand? It should. It should. Why would we just say, oh, we're content? I'm never content. I don't know. I mean, like, with certain things, like, but I'm like, why would I sit up there and have energy? Like, you would sit up there and have like these energy systems that are in need to help our planets that are dormant. I'm not saying these are things like a rock, or let me not say rock, asteroid. Like, these things could be dormant, but a part of, it's like picking crops. You picking for that, you know. It's no way there's and it's not like something's gonna die. Something is thriving, but it's not, like that type of dormant. And I'm not talking about, you know, you have an ant come in your house, you either put it on a piece of napkin and nicely exert your energy to let it like crawl out, or you just smash it. Um, we don't, like, I'm not saying the ants are disposable. And this isn't metaphors of people or other aliens. This is metaphors, real ants, or something of another species ant type thing. That is expendable and could be redeveloped somewhere else. But like people, no. Things like aliens or whatever, grasshoppers, definitely no. I would love to meet one. That's so cool. Like, how do they talk? That's crazy. could advanced civilizations operate beyond what humanity currently calls physics? Yes. What he did, what Bob Lazar did, he fell in love with the spacecraft. Because the first guy, it's not funny, and I do laugh, and if it sounds like I'm laughing like because I like that type of stuff, I don't. I'm laughing because dang, the 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 spacecraft must didn't like who, and all those spacecrafts. Think about that for a second, how they feel. Always having to be investigated on, never getting to go out. Sort of like a prized possession. With no merit. Unless they project times of bringing them out. I hope so. Not for your sake or my sake, but for their sake. Because what is in that spacecraft has touched the hearts of a lot of UFO lovers. Some people speculate. Bob Lazar said it's magical. He can't describe any other word. And that intrigued me. I wanted to know more. And just looking inside, he never describes that part. How do you go that fast? Zapping in and out of realities or frequencies or dimensions and or self. How? And you never fall to the side. None of that. You sit up there and you keep going. Back and forth. These weird, not weird, that's brilliant moves. And yet you sit in that spacecraft like that is mental. That is mental, not challenged, as in challenged poorly, but that is a mental challenge that not many people get to experience. And I appreciate the description. I have to seriously watch the video and tell y'all the juicy gossip. I don't care if it was like 2 minutes. I'm going to watch it. I watched the reviews. Like, seriously, I love every bit of the story that he gave because it had merit and honesty. This show does not claim extraterrestrials or proven facts. It explores publicly available information, historical records, scientific theories, declassified programs, and the unanswered mysteries surrounding UAPs and UFOs. Yeah. From Roswell to Area 51, from S4 to theories about parallel universes, Humanity continues searching for answers. Yeah. You know, if you don't understand or care about what's going on with aliens, you know, why they fight in these like battles and different things, I would say, you know, it's okay. But just know that aliens out there is very, I don't know, powerful. There are benevolent ones. They're not. There's, you can kind of like say independent ones, you know, like, and I'm not saying that literally. I'm saying I'm trying to give you a very, you know, that's a bad analogy. Just there's benevolent and bad ones. And then there's ones that meet in the middle and that are neutral. Sort of like a atom. Does that make any sense? So, yeah. So, um, that's funny. I would, you know, when they gonna open up exploring the past? I know you have a little bit with us filming. I get that. But I'm talking about me being able to reach into that screen and just go to June 5th, 2000. But I can't change it, right? But no, go into the past and actually see your life story without seeing it on a computer, but having a computer as support, but actually doing that. Seeing videos of your whole life. It has to be a video. It has to be a video. Without a video, without a video, without a video, without me, I'm sorry. I'm getting really hyper about this. Without us filming, there has to be a video imprint of, oh, wrong. Imprint, that's still wrong. Imprint, imprint of our lives. And I'm like, dang, that's crazy. Our spirits. Because I mean, Black Eyed Peas said it. Energy never dies. That's why I listen to everyone. I try. I try. I can't hear them all, but energy never dies. So your energy, they never say this. Even your energy, the energy that's keeping going in your body, that's electrical, and that's like 250 watts. That energy never died. So whatever you input on it. So I just wonder if we can go as fast as all my past lives. And I'm not, don't even go there. I'm not going there. But all my past lives, our past lives, you know, because if we could, okay, it's not sounding right now. If we can have a force field around the world, or let's just start with America, a force field around America. And I'm not talking about the Golden Dome. I'm just saying different things have different frequencies. So frequency around America, where it only picks up on the senses, like an EKG can pick up on your heartbeat. Once it stops, this force field picks it up. What if that can happen? and your thumbprint. I want to know where that force field is so that I can actually see the videos. I would gladly watch every. It would probably take another life, but I would gladly. It wouldn't even be like this. This would actually, as this is crazy, man. It would be crazy to see that type of stuff, right? Do y'all think like that? Is that a wrong thing to say? Because I want to know how I've changed. I want to know what I need to do to change some of my flaws. Not externally. I'm talking about internally and what I need to study more on. That's what I'm talking about. If you had a chance to look at that, would you? And if you did good for not only your reality or my, and not or, and my reality, and everyone's reality, no people dying, good people surviving to tell the story, would you do that? Would you think like that? Because that's something I would think about. It's all I tell myself every day. If I had the equipment, time, effort, knew better, even better. If this medication is good, but even better medication, I would be so happy. Medication, I have to admit, is needed. Not with just me, but with things. You get a cold, cough drop, or Robitussin, or NyQuil. Take it DM, like take your pick. You go grocery shopping and the same thing, like I don't know. I don't even want to go any further, but I I love the fact that those options, like when you have a cold, you know, are there, you know. I love the fact that those options when you suffer and they need to treat you for something are there, you know. I can never say in my life, I've had pain. Yeah, I've had to have pain to grow. It's just inevitable. Um, but you just have to be like humble. 3 C-sections. That's a lot. That's a lot. And like I'm saying this because the medication that I was on, like, it was short lived. At first, it used to be short lived, and it was terrible, man. So good medications like temporarily, we need those. Like, why would doctors put you purposefully through pain unless they're trying to see something and they're bad doctors or they've been told to. I don't know. But we need medications, and the DSM 5 is turning into the DSM 6, and I think it's coming out by 27. I'm like, okay, cool. I can't wait to buy that. I don't buy books or read books. I do schoolwork. I'm good at that. But you won't find me at Barnes and Noble just kicking it with a book. And I congratulate those who. But certain books interest me and piques my interest, like learning that the sun is made up of all the rainbows. In the short time I was, whatever. But you won't find me at a Barnes and Nobles. And I swear to God, I'm about to get off of here because I need time to recuperate. And because I'll tell you like this, I'm streaming on 12 different platforms, y'all. That energy, I can feel it. I'm very sensitive to the forces around me. And you can't say the energy isn't there because you don't know, because you can't see it. But something is there when I hit that live button. And sometimes when you're looking directly at the camera, like constantly, Elon Musk never looks directly at the camera unless he's doing something in particular. But you're looking directly at the camera, and then other cameras are looking at you, two others. Oh, I can only imagine if I had 3 phones. I would laugh at myself. But like they're staring at you, and I'm like, hey. I'm not to say it's anxiety or nerve wracking. It's just how many minutes are we at? Exactly. I have to inch myself into a 3-hour segment, if that makes any sense, because like TikTok, I'll tell you like this. I suggest y'all get a TikTok page and do your own TikTok. Like TikTok said, like, let's see your energy. More energy you give, the better quality people will show up. Like now, they're just popping into my video feed. And I'm like, okay. And that's what I do. I try to give out as much energy. But when you don't be on there and you only be on 2 phones, but you have 3.5 ounces of rare earth minerals, just, you know, we I won't say no more before I get booted for misrepresentation or some stuff. But I ask yourself this. It's crazy. How can rare earth minerals, what do they do? They're actually a portion of some type of metal material, but they claim it doesn't hurt no one. Now, have a computer hurt me? No. Has the computer been a little slow? Yeah. Do I blame the computer? No. I blame the person of the maker of the computer. Then the same with the Wi-Fi. I don't blame the Wi-Fi. I blame the maker of the Wi-Fi, of the settings of the thing. I will see you guys later. Okay. I love you guys so much. I love you guys so much. And God bless y'all.